Hi, in this demo I will demonstrate how NextLabs SkyDRM supports TDF files seamlessly. SkyDRM protects files in TDF format directly within the SkyDRM environment. Users can view or edit TDF files dynamically based on their assigned permissions, keeping sensitive content secure. TDF protection extends across virtually any file types, including Microsoft Office documents, PDFs, and CAD files, ensuring enterprise-wide coverage. Interoperable between NextLabs SkyDRM and TDF files. In this demo, we set the classification category with finance and engineering files. We configure the following policies for this demo. Jen from the U.S. Finance Department has full permission to access finance files and does not have access to engineering files. Max from the UK Finance Department has view and print permissions for finance files and does not have access to engineering files. Jack from the U.S. Engineering Department has full permission to access engineering files and does not have access to finance files. Let's move into the demo environment. Here, we have configured the following policies in NextLabs SkyDRM. Finance_US users, belonging to the Finance Department in the U.S., are granted full permission on files classified as finance. This means they can view, edit, print, and save finance files without restriction. Finance_non-US users, belonging to the Finance Department and are not in the U.S., are granted view and print permissions on files classified as finance. They can access and print the content, but are restricted from editing or saving changes. Engineering users, belonging to the Engineering Department, are granted full permission on files classified as engineering. They have complete access to engineering files while remaining restricted from files outside their department. In this use case, we will see how NextLabs SkyDRM empowers users to protect and access files in TDF format directly from the desktop application. In this use case, we will demonstrate the following. Now, let's move into the demo. Jen logs into the SkyDRM desktop application and selects a document to protect. She saves the file in TDF format, applying a Finance Department classification, ensuring the file is instantly secured with the appropriate policy. Jen reviews the file information using SkyDRM View File Info. Here we can see that she has full control on finance file. Now, let's open the TDF file using the built-in SkyDRM viewer. As you can see, the file opens smoothly, allowing her to preview the content securely within the application. Next, Jen opens the same TDF file in its native application. The file opens seamlessly, as she has full permission. Jen proceeds to make edits by adding some texts to the file, and saves her changes, then close the file. Now, Jen will reopen the file to confirm that the protection does not interfere with the editing experience. As expected, the saved changes are intact, demonstrating that SkyDRM allows fully transparent editing and saving while keeping the file protected at all times. Now, let's see what happens when Jen tries to access engineering files. Let's check the file information using SkyDRM View File Info. As you can see, she does not have any permission on this file. Let's validate this. Jen attempts to open the engineering file by double-clicking the file. As expected, the file cannot be opened, and the access is denied. This clearly demonstrates how SkyDRM enforces department-level policy boundaries, ensuring only authorized users can access protected content. Let's look at the next use case. In this use case, we will see how NextLabs SkyDRM enforces granular permissions, giving users access to only what they are authorized to do. In this use case, we will demonstrate the following. Let's move on to the demo. Max logs into the SkyDRM desktop application and navigates to his finance files protected as TDF. He checks the file information using SkyDRM View File Info. We can see that Max has been granted view and print permissions on finance files. Let's open a finance Word document protected as TDF using the built-in SkyDRM viewer. As you can see, the file opens successfully, allowing Max to view the content within his granted rights. Next, Max checks the file information on a finance PDF document protected as TDF using SkyDRM view file info, confirming that he only has view and print permissions. Max then opens the file. And as expected, the file opens seamlessly, confirming that view permissions are consistently enforced across different file types. Now, Max attempts to open engineering files. He checks the file information using SkyDRM view file info. As you can see, he does not have any permission on this file. To validate this, Max attempts to open the engineering file by double-clicking the file. As expected, the file cannot be opened, and the access is denied. This demonstrates how SkyDRM consistently enforces policy across departments, ensuring sensitive content remains protected at all times. Let's look at the next use case. In this use case, we will see how NextLabs SkyDRM dynamically controls TDF file access based on user attributes and department policies from the SkyDRM desktop application. In this use case, we will demonstrate the following. Let's move on to the demo. Jack logs into the SkyDRM desktop application and checks the file information on a finance Word document protected as TDF by using SkyDRM view file info. As you can see, he has no permission on this file. Let's validate this. Jack attempts to open the finance file by right-clicking. As expected, Jack receives a notification, "You are not authorized to view this file." SkyDRM enforces the policy, ensuring sensitive finance content remains protected. Now, let's see Jack access his engineering TDF files. Jack checks the file information on an engineering file by using SkyDRM view file info. As you can see, he has full permission, which is aligned with his department and role-based policy. Jack opens the engineering TDF file using the built-in SkyDRM viewer. The file opens successfully, allowing Jack to preview the content securely. Next, Jack opens the same engineering TDF file in its native application. The file also opens seamlessly, allowing Jack to work freely within his authorized rights. This demonstrates how NextLabs SkyDRM dynamically enforces access control, automatically governing who can access what, based on policies. Let's look at the next use case. In this use case, we'll explore how NextLabs SkyDRM delivers seamless interoperability between NXL and TDF file formats within the SkyDRM web application. In this use case, we will demonstrate the following. Now, let's move on to the demo. Jen logs into the SkyDRM web application, then navigate to the finance files, and check the file information. As you can see, she has been granted full permission on all finance files. Next, Jen proceeds to save the NXL file as a TDF file. With just a few clicks, the file is now protected under the TDF format. Jen then attempts to open the saved TDF file directly in the SkyDRM web viewer. As expected, she is able to view the content seamlessly without any restrictions. Now, let's try to access the engineering files. Jen checks the file information, and as you can see, she has no permission on all engineering files, confirming that Jen is not authorized to access engineering content. Let's validate this. Jen will attempt to open the saved engineering TDF files in SkyDRM web application. As expected, she receives a notification, "You are not authorized to view this file." This demonstrates that regardless of the file format, whether NXL or TDF, SkyDRM enforces protection consistently and seamlessly. Let's look at the last use case. In this use case, we will look at NXL and TDF file interoperability, as we now switch to user Jack, who belongs to the engineering department. In this use case, we will demonstrate the following. Let's move on to the demo. Jack logs into the SkyDRM web application, then navigates to the finance files, and checks the file information. As you can see, he does not have any permission on all finance files, confirming that the policy is working as expected, restricting Jack's access to finance content. Next, Jack attempts to open the saved finance TDF file in SkyDRM web application. As expected, he receives a notification, "You are not authorized to view this file." The protection embedded within the TDF file ensures that unauthorized users cannot access the content, regardless of how or where the file is accessed. Now, let's see what happens when Jack navigates to his engineering files. He checks the file information, and as expected we see that full permission is confirmed, aligned with Jack's department and ABAC policy. Next, Jack opens the saved engineering TDF file using the built-in SkyDRM web viewer. As you can see, the file opens successfully, allowing Jack to view the content seamlessly within his granted rights. Now, Jack tries to open another engineering TDF file in built-in SkyDRM web viewer. As expected, the file opens successfully without any restrictions, allowing Jack to view the content seamlessly within his granted rights. With this, we conclude our demo on SkyDRM support for TDF file. Thank you for watching. If you are interested in learning more about secure collaboration using EDRM, please subscribe to the NextLabs channel and stay tuned for other videos on the topic.